You've probably heard the name Regeneron, right? But what's the real story behind this biotech giant? Is it this unstoppable innovation machine, or are there some serious challenges ahead that the market might be missing? Okay, let's just dive right in with a number that practically jumps off the screen. Plus 595.69%. I mean, what is that? It's a stock price prediction for just 1 year from now. So you gotta ask, what could possibly justify a forecast that, well, that astronomical?
So where does a number like that even come from? Well, it comes from an AI analysis platform. We're living in an age where algorithms are making some incredibly bold calls, and this one for Regeneron is a real head-turner. Now take a look at this. What's really interesting here is the contrast, right? The AI sees all this short-term volatility. A small dip here, a little rise there. But then you look at the long term, and boom, a jump of over 595% by 2026. I mean, that's just a wildly bullish prediction, to say the least.
All right, so that's what the machine thinks. But what about the humans? Let's switch gears and see how Wall Street analysts are looking at Regeneron. Are they seeing the same kind of meteoric rise?
And here's the breakdown. Out of 27 analysts who weighed in recently, you've got a whopping 19 saying buy, 8 saying hold, and get this, 0 say sell. So yeah, the consensus is definitely positive.
And this is the really important part. While they're optimistic, their average price target for the next year suggests an upside of around 11.30%. Now, that's a solid return, don't get me wrong, but it's a completely different universe from that AI prediction of nearly 600%. So, what's driving all this optimism, even if the numbers are so different?
Right. So what's behind all that optimism? Well, it really all boils down to the company's powerhouse products. We're not just talking about successful drugs here. We're talking about absolute revenue-generating machines. And in the pharma world, those machines have a name: blockbuster drugs. It's a pretty simple concept, but it's so powerful. We're talking about one single drug that hauls in over $1 billion in sales every single year. That's basically the holy grail for a biotech company.
So, you might be asking, does Regeneron have one? Oh yeah. Take their star player, DUPIXENT. The global net sales for this one drug in just 1 quarter came in at $4.9 billion. Just wow.
And get this, it's not even slowing down. That $4.9 billion number, that's a 32% increase from the year before. This isn't some old drug just coasting along. It's a rocket ship that's still picking up speed.
So why is it growing so fast? Well, look at its reach. Over 1.4 million patients around the world are currently on DUPIXENT. That just gives you a sense of the massive scale and impact this one product has.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. The company's own CEO, Dr. Leonard Schleifer, said it himself. That's a pretty clear statement of just how dominant they are in a super competitive space.
But look, no company can just rest on its laurels, right? It doesn't matter how successful one drug is. So where does the next wave of growth come from? Well, it comes from what the industry calls the drug pipeline.
Probably the best way to think about a drug pipeline is like a farm system for a pro sports team. You know, it's where you do all the hard, expensive, and long-term work of developing your next generation of superstars. Or, in this case, your next blockbuster drugs.
And believe me, that journey is a total marathon, not a sprint. It all starts with just an idea in a lab. Then it moves through years of preclinical testing. Then into these high-stakes, high-risk clinical trials with thousands of actual people. And only after all that can you even think about asking for approval. So just how serious is Regeneron about this? Well, they're planning to kick off 18 new late-stage, that's phase 3, clinical studies. That is a massive bet on their future.
And just to give you a sense of the sheer scale of that bet, those 18 new studies, they're going to aim to enroll about 35,000 patients in total. And this huge bet on the future is probably what that AI forecast is picking up on. The potential for not just one, but a whole bunch of new blockbusters to pop out of this pipeline.
Okay, so you've got a blockbuster engine firing on all cylinders and a massive pipeline. Sounds like a total slam dunk, right? Well, not so fast. You know, every story has two sides, and for Regeneron, there are some pretty big clouds forming on the horizon.
So one of the biggest threats out there is something called a biosimilar. The easiest way to think of it is like a generic version, but for a really complex drug. The moment a drug's patents start to run out, competitors can swoop in with these copycat versions at a lower price, and that can really, really eat into your sales.
And this isn't some theoretical threat either. We're seeing it play out in real time with their other huge drug, EYLEA. Now, the new and improved version, EYLEA HD, it's growing like crazy, up 66%. But the older version, the legacy one, is seeing its sales drop by 15% in just 1 quarter because it's facing more competition.
And again, the company isn't trying to hide this. The CEO came right out and said that the pressure on the old EYLEA is expected to intensify as a bunch of biosimilars hit the market. I mean, that's a direct warning about a major threat to one of their biggest cash cows.
So here's the catch-22. Funding that massive pipeline we were just talking about, it's not cheap. Regeneron is actually guiding for a huge increase in spending. We're talking R&D costs that could soar as high as $6.1 billion, and their administrative costs are jumping up too. That is a ton of money, and it has to come from somewhere, right?
So when you put it all together, what does this all mean? All this information, the incredible potential, and these really serious risks, it creates a classic dilemma for anyone trying to figure out where this company is headed.
So here it is. This is the core conflict. On one side, you have this proven blockbuster machine with DUPIXENT and this enormous pipeline of potential future hits. But on the other side, you've got this very real threat of biosimilar competition chipping away at a key revenue stream, all while the costs to innovate are skyrocketing. So the big question is, which of these powerful forces is going to win out? Can Regeneron's amazing innovation engine outrun the very real threats to its bottom line? That is the real story.